Hello friends, in this video we'll discuss all about the concept of Laravel, and that is how to create a custom facade. So first thing first, what is a facade? So inside Laravel, facade is a design or pattern by the help of that we can easily access its methods without knowing the actual complexity. It means that it provides a static interface by the help of that we can access all about its functions and methods without going into complexity. So inside Laravel we have number of facades available like routes facade, auth facade, hash facade. So in this video we'll discuss all about how to create a custom facade. We have one more request, please subscribe to this channel so that we can create such type of amazing videos, amazing content free for you. Back to editor. So before creating a custom facade, if I go inside routes folder, let's open web.php. Now we can see that here inside this web.php we are using a route facade. Now by using this route facade we are calling this static method like get. So here we are using the concept of get method, but we don't know the actual functionality or the actual complexity. So this is how the facades are useful inside Laravel application. Let's go inside app. I will open any of the controller file. So let's open site controller. Now here I will create a method, let's say public function. Let's call it as generate password, or let's call it as generate hash password. So here let's say text value, this is a normal value. If I pass a normal password, this is a plain text value. Now we want to convert into encrypted format, so I will use a facade called use eliminate support facades, and here I will use hash. Once we import this hash facade, I will go here and let's echo. I will call the make method, means hash make method, and I will pass the plain text value. Now once we save this file, once we execute this method into browser, so we'll see that this plain text value will be converted into an encrypted value. So let's create first a route here inside this web.php. So here use site controller. Once we import, let's go here route get method, let's say generate hash. It will call site controller, and from this controller class we'll call method as generate hash password. Save these changes. I will copy the route. Let's start development server. Development server started. Open link / let's type generate -hash. Now we can see that our plain text value, that is admin @123, now converted into this hashed value by using this hash facade. So the concept is here that we are using the static method, that is make method. So hash facade is providing a static interface by the help of that we can easily access its functions, its properties without knowing the actual complexity. So here we'll create a custom facade. So before creating, if I go here, so inside Laravel, a facade is a design pattern that provides a simple and static interface to a complex system or complex functions, which allows developers to access this feature in a very easier way. So here we have few steps that we need to follow to create a custom facade inside Laravel. So first we need to create a PHP file. So go here. So to create facade inside Laravel, there is no specific folder. So what we can do here, go inside this app folder. I'll create a support folder inside this app directory. So let's call it as support, and inside this support folder I will create a PHP class file. So here let's call it as mystring.php. Go inside that class file, means that PHP file. Let's define a class, but before that let's define a namespace. It is inside app and support folder. Now let's define class myString, and inside this class we'll define a method, and that method basically take a normal string value and convert that normal string value into a slug value. For example, let's say here we have a normal string that is online web tutor, but if you're talking about the function of that method, so the output will be something like this: online web -tutor. So we can see that all the characters now convert into lowercase, and also the space is now replaced with hyphen. So let's create a function. So public function, I will call it as, let's say, slugify, and inside this method we need to accept a plain text value, it means a string value. Go here, now let's return str replace. So we need to search for space, replace with hyphen, and also need to convert into lowercase. So str to lower, this is another PHP function, and I will pass this text value. Now once we execute this method, so automatically when we pass this value, it will convert into slug value. So this is the first step now we have completed, that is all about creating a PHP file inside Laravel application. Let's go to our slide. So in the next step, we need to bind our class what we have created by using our service provider. Let's go to our project, go inside app folder, providers, open up app service provider. Now inside this app service provider file, we need to go inside register method. Let's remove this single line comment. I will call this app, it's an object. By the help of that, I will call bind method. Look at IntelliSense, we need to pass our abstract name. So here, let's call it as my function. So once we call this abstract name my function, what we have to do, we need to return an instance of myString class. So here, first go at the top of this file, let's say use app support, means this class is coming from app support. So app support, and here we have myString class. Once we import, go here, return new myString. So it means that this is all about the abstract keyword, abstract name. So once we call this my function, it will return the instance of this myString class, and by the help of that instance, or by the help of that object, we can call this slugify method. So successfully, this was our second step. Now if you go here inside third step, we need to create again a class inside our folder, and that class will extend from facade class. So what we have to do, go here. So I will create a new class, let's say inside support folder. I will call it as, let's say, myfacade.php. Let's define a PHP tag, class, let's say my facade, and before that, let's say namespace app support, and here let's say class my facade, which extends from facade. So successfully we can see that now we have created one more class that is extending all about facade class. Now here we need to define a protected method, that is protected function get facade accessor. This is a predefined method we need to define as the first method of this myFacade class. And one more thing we need to add with the syntax of this method, that is all about static. So protected static function get facade accessor. So this is a predefined method. We need to define the first method inside this myFacade class. And finally here, let's return, and we need to return the abstract name what we have given here. So I will copy my function and pasting it here. So this is all about the successful creation of myFacade inside Laravel. Now next, let's do a quick unit testing that how basically it works. So I will go inside web.php, and here let's remove these lines of code. let's say route get method, and here let's call it as a route as myslug. It's a closure route, it means we are not attaching with any controller class file. So here first I will import our my facade, that is our custom facade. So use app support, and from support folder here we have my facade. Now once we import, go here just like what we had done with this hash facade. First we have imported, and by the help of that we have called make method. So in the same way we have imported here. So I will copy the facade name. Let's go here, scope resolution operator. Now we need to call our method, and that method will be slugify. Simple. I will copy, pasting it here, and inside that we need to pass any value. So this is the value what we have passed. It's echo. So once we execute or open this route, let's go to our project terminal. Development server already started. I will copy the route, go here, open a new tab. So once we type project URL /myslug, now we can see the text what we have given is now converted into a slug value. So this is amazing. That means this is slugify, which does not exist inside this class, but we can see that we can easily access this myString class method. So how basically it is possible? Because if you go here, we have called my facade. So once we call my facade, it means we have loaded and called here. So automatically this get facade accessor method now called, and once it is called, this abstract name what we have defined inside this app service provider automatically gets called. And here it's a callback function which is returning an instance, and this is an instance of myString class, and successfully now we are able to call slugify method in a very easier way by the help of this my facade. So if you go into its definition, then inside Laravel, a facade is a design pattern that provides a simple and static interface to a complex system. So this is the guide that how to create a custom facade inside Laravel. But let's understand one more thing before closing this video, is that here we have registered our abstract name inside this register method of app service provider. Let's say that we want to actually register our own provider, and by the help of that we'll define this abstract name. So first we need a service provider. I will go here. So instead of using app service provider, we want our own provider. So if I type PHP artisan, press enter, let's go inside our make group. So inside make group, we can see here we have a command called make provider. Look at single line description, it create a new service provider class. So what we can do here, let's say PHP artisan make provider, and let's call it as test service provider. Press enter, provider class created, and it is inside app and providers. Now if I go inside app folder, providers folder, and here we have test service provider. Now if I go here, let's comment these lines. Now this time we are registering all about this abstract name of this instance of this class by the help of test service provider. So here I will call this app object. By the help of that I will call bind method, let's say my function, callback function, and this function will return an instance that is new myString. But before that, let's say use app support, and here myString. Let's go here and myString. So once we do, so now this time we need to register the service provider inside this application as well. So how to do that? Simple. I will go inside config folder. I will open app.php, search for providers. So at the bottom of this file, we'll see providers array. Here we can see, and now inside this providers, let's say app / providers / we have test service provider. So once we register, now we can see that instead of using this app service provider, we are using task service provider. Save these changes, go here, let's reload. So we need to start development server. So PHP artisan serve. Start it, go and reload. Now we can see that we have the same output as what we have with app service provider. So this is that how we can create a custom facade class inside Laravel. So this is totally magical concept that if we go here again inside web.php, we easily call this slugify method, but this static method does not exist inside this my facade class. So once we call this my facade, automatically this get facade accessor will be called, and it is returning all about the abstract keyword, abstract name, that is my function. Let's do a mistake here, that is my function 1, which does not exist, or we may say that not registered. If I go and reload, now we can see that target class my function 1 does not exist. Let's go here and undo the changes. So once this abstract name will be returned, automatically this will go inside task service provider because we have registered, and this will return the instance of my string. So please like this video, share this video as much as you can, and subscribe to this channel. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.